Yes, yes, Sir Hairless here. Today we have a Patreon request, thank you for this one. This will be our third time hearing a solo work from Kevin. This is a relatively new song released in February of 2025 and it's called Dark Winter. I have received some comments in various other videos of mine talking about this song, mentioning it, recommending it, saying things like it's a trip or it will shock you. So I don't really have much more to say. I'm going in pretty blind here. I have seen the first frame of this video, which is a painting of Antonio Vivaldi.
Try to let it slide, but you testing on my limits. Real nice guy, don't mistake it for a weakness. You talking recklessly, having your fun. The thing about the quiet ones, you'll feel the consequences when they come. Oh, now you wanna tell me that I've changed. You wonder why I moved you out the way. I know you want the violence to play. Oh no, oh no. Now you're about to get this dark winter.
Well, this is a lot to take in. At the end of my introduction, I said I'd seen the first frame of the video, a painting of Vivaldi. In our previous Kevin reaction, that was Kevin's fifth. He had basically reworked, if we can say that, Beethoven's fifth. So I was thinking Dark Winter, seeing a painting of Vivaldi, Vivaldi's Winter. That's pretty obviously what's going on here. Inspiration, especially being a strings player. I think any strings player will be very familiar with Vivaldi. Amazing composer, Vivaldi. One I don't think I've actually had enough exposure to. You know, our brains work at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and as I was starting to think, okay, Vivaldi's Winter, it's a very, very intense piece of music. And intense is what we have here. Everything about it. Look at the set, the colors, the outfits. Immediately from the start, this kind of contrast of old and new. We think of Baroque composers, everything ornate, very prim and proper, and then this almost graffitied font, red tape blurring out the face, almost something quite rebellious or dark about it. Here, what an intense opening. The two people behind Kevin, so chill, so calm. The colors obviously all over the place, so it's a bit of a sensory overload. We don't know if we should be focusing on the visuals or the audio, the sound, what we're hearing. Very, very intense. Just in case anyone does not know Vivaldi's Winter, one of the 4 seasons, it starts off with this, basically. Let's just go in about, what, 10 seconds? Kevin has sped it up a little bit in the song, but it's in the same key. The singing coming in, a bit of a shocker. It's just because I didn't really know what to expect here.
Try to let it slide, but you testing on my limit.
Very catchy. I often say with melodies, they can be catchy if done well when it's just one note or 2 notes back and forth. It's very easy for us as a listener to remember. You hear it once, you can immediately replicate it. And then the third note, the different note, just comes at the end.
But you testing on my limit.
Something almost foreboding about it. There's no vibrato at all. He's staring straight in the camera. And then above his sustained, long, stubborn note, it's not moving, quite different to the intense, rapid strings that we're playing. Then we get a violin coming in.
Real nice guy.
Things are a bit chaotic. It's very, very intense. At the same time, in terms of the harmony, Kevin is sustaining this note here. And then at the bottom in the bass, this E, creating diminished chords always sound a bit, in the name, diminished. They're not quite full.
Talking recklessly, having your fun.
The vocals in the octaves there, 1 octave down, quite subtle underneath, but it just gives it this, what's the word? I tend to repeat words in my video. I think today's word is going to be foreboding or intense. Intense is the obvious one.
Recklessly having your fun. The thing about the quiet ones, you'll feel the consequences.
Kevin is prolonging the harmonic change here. This is another tense chord because of the harmony. In the original song, we get to this very famous moment. You've probably heard it. I think it's used in TV and films as soundtracks or TV shows. Kevin seems to use it as this big climactic chorus moment. So in the original, we can hear things building up, not only getting louder, but the chords are constantly changing, and we can hear that. And there we go, into that famous bit. Kevin, and I reckon he's aware that a lot of people probably know the music, is intrinsically just building tension here by refusing to change chord. Look how many times the chord was changing. There's one. Oh look, there's another. Oh look, there's another. Oh look, there's another. Also, things are moving in contrary motion. No change. No change. No change.
You'll feel the
No change.
consequences when
Ah, there's a change. Very subtle chromatic rise in the inner part.
they come. Oh, now you want to tell me that I've changed. You wonder why I moved you out the way. I know you want the violence to play. Oh no, oh no.
He is keeping the same harmony, the same chord progression. As we said before, things are a little bit quicker, but it must be so cool, him with his classical background and being a cellist. There's no surprise he's familiar with Vivaldi, but this is his live music. This is his work outside of pentatonics, of course. And he sat there and thought, you know what? I like Vivaldi Winter. I'm going to make a song and recreate it in his own way. And I just think that's such a privilege, such a cool thing to be able to do. He has the lyrics ready. He, of anyone, can just take a bit of classical music. No one is sitting here thinking he's ripped it off in any way. You know, it's really cool to see. Catchy as well. Is it catchy because of Kevin or because of Vivaldi? I think most of the original Vivaldi's Winter is very catchy. Perhaps Kevin's take on it appeals more to the modern man or woman.
Tell me that I've changed. You wonder why I moved you out the way.
And he's really leaning into the ever so slight glissandos, these slides. You know, things are very smooth and everything connects really well, but at the same time, the music underneath is quite crazy. It's all about rapid, quick movements of the bow. And then we get this reduction.
Now you're about to get this dark winter.
I think that's a Billie Eilish song, the very famous song that's really similar to.
I'm the bad guy. Duh.
So here, again, I'm not saying Kevin copied it in any way, but a lot of, I mean, I don't listen to Billie Eilish, but even I know that little segment from that song, Bad Guy. So hearing this,
You're about to get this dark.
I'm perhaps subconsciously relating it to a modern song, to modern music, how music has progressed since Vivaldi. And like I said from the start, seeing this here, it's this contrast of old being overwritten by the new, or us building upon the old with the new. All right, let's carry on. It seemed like there was a drop almost from where we paused.
Now you're about to get this dark winter. Lost my composure cause you've got me triggered. Should be more careful, you might get the shivers. Yeah, you just had to provoke it. Bring the worst out of me. You don't know what you're walking. Say hello to the beast. Next thing you know, going toe to toe. Never thought you'd see this out of me. Oh, now you wanna tell me that I've changed. You wonder why I moved you out the way. I know you want the violence to play. Oh no, oh no. Calling me cold, even though I've been trying to be cool. Want me to be nice, but remember it's on here with you. Now you're about to.
I don't know what's coming next. It could be anything. Very, very intense. There's that vocal versatility, which is nice to see. In many of my pentatonics videos where Kevin is singing, I've tried to point out his part where I can, because I receive a lot of comments from people saying that they can't really hear him. And I will always respond saying, well, that's a good thing. It shows that his voice just blends really well. And he's so versatile. He can sing, you know, down to the lower baritone, up to the higher alto parts if he wants. Here's a great example of it. A very smooth voice he has. Let's just go over some more things there. Quite literally, it's almost like out with the old, in with the new here. The destruction of these old wooden instruments, and then a shot of Kevin playing his electric cello. Just there. And what's behind him? Well, these old columns that you might expect to find in an ancient Greek civilization, for example, all destroyed. And in the background, you know, a modern open warehouse, if you'd call it that. I like as well how the batting of them fits in rhythmically with the song.
Lost my composure.
There's just an intensity about keeping in the throat clearing. It gives a rawness to the sound. It's not something you would expect to keep in a studio version. The video is cool, isn't it? Just crazy with the colors. Look at this guy's outfit as well, and the shoes. And is that a cravat he's wearing? Maybe I should get a wig with that hair. Let me know if you think that would suit me. But yeah, this bit now, we've got the cello, the mainstay of the performance, repeating the same note. Boom, boom, boom. That F here.
Lost my composure cause you've got me triggered.
And that's a catchy phrase, I think, rhythmically, because here we have the idea. I've spoken about it in many other videos. Pentatonics like to use a similar thing more often than not. And it's bringing in the idea of threes versus the idea of twos. So the cello, cha, 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 1, 2, 1, 2. But Kevin, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 of Kevin's beats for every 2 of the cello. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2. So despite there being this difference, 3 versus 2, it sounds very, very smooth.
Lost my composure cause you've got me triggered. Should be more careful, you might get the shiver.
Oh, so that's him on the cello. So earlier when I said it was violins,
Real nice.
that's him on the cello. Yeah, very cool. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now.
Bring the words that I made. You don't know what you're walking. Say hello to the beast.
Here is that very obviously prolonged, sustained chords building tension, but I feel like it's a bit shorter than before.
Next thing you know, going toe to toe. Never thought you'd see this side of me. Oh, now you wanna tell me that I've...
And the bass line coming at the bottom. Boom, 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 boom. It works really well.
Side of me. Oh, now you wanna tell me that I've changed. You wonder why I moved you out the way. I know you want the violence to play. Oh no, oh no. Calling me cold, even though I've been trying to be cool. Want me to be nice.
And some ethereal in the background there.
Want me to be nice, but remember it's on here with you. Now you're about to get this dark winter. Yeah.
你在干嘛你？你讲什么？你在干嘛？你讲什么？
哎，我们要团结起来，不要离开我们。哎呀，我告诉你，
是吗？
如果你再做一次，我就会告诉你妈。
那不要
啊，当然会啊！
I might need some help here in the comments, please. Let me know what that last bit was about. I mean, I do know that Kevin can speak Chinese.
你在干嘛你？你讲什么？你在干嘛？你讲什么？
哎，我们要
That's very cool though. Quite funny. Do that one more time and I'm telling your mum.
做一次，我就会告诉你妈。
那不要
啊，当然会啊！
Please don't. Not my mum. Well, there we go. That last section, I feel like it was playing more into his vocals.
Now you're about to get this dark winter.
Intensely powerful, higher chest voice there. And then a lovely change from the chest straight into the head voice. Again, just showing how seamlessly he can do it and how versatile he is as a singer and an asset to pentatonics. Quite R&B-y for a lot of the song. Yeah, it's really all just about a mixing of genres, a mixing of timelines, a mixing of eras. And I feel like depending on who you are, you could view this in different ways. You could think, oh, these are two things that shouldn't really be mixing, or you can think this is very, very creative. It's a great way to bring Vivaldi to people who might not otherwise be exposed to it. And similarly, you could have someone who only listens to music pre-1800, for example. Very stupid examples, I know, but I'm sure you know what I mean here. I guess what I'm trying to say is you can either look at this as like a mix of two things that maybe shouldn't mix, or a coming together, a unity of two things that you might not expect to mix. Based on our last reaction to him, Kevin's Fifth, I'm sure we'll probably see more. He's done Beethoven, he's done Vivaldi, maybe he's done on other things, and maybe he will do many more things. What could we expect with that one? Some Bach, maybe? Mozart? Who knows? Yeah, really interesting, that one. I need to go and listen to it a few more times because I think I'm still a little bit surprised. I just had no idea what to expect. It certainly was not that. The video as well, quite overwhelming, a lot to watch and take in there. So just before I go and do that, I'd just like to say thank you, as always, for watching. Would appreciate a like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time.